Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to the Zcast, Generation Z's podcast. We used to say weekly podcast, but that's not really true anymore. So we're going to get out as much content as we can as quickly as possible. As you might notice, you can see some of our faces this week. You could the last time as well. We have switched over to YouTube, and now we are kind of showing off our faces to the world, essentially.
And ironically, using
Beware.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah, ironically, we are using Google Hangouts. We are back to Google Hangouts, which is actually what we initially started off on because of technical problems with other issues.
Rabbit sucked. Skype was having issues. It's like, you know what? Let's just go Hangouts.
All right, and as you can see, who's kind of with me this week, I have Takio.
Hello.
I have Starfire. Maybe I have Starfire. We had Starfire.
Got a black screen on my end. Starfire, are you there?
I've got her face on my end, but nope, it's a black screen. So Starfire will probably be joining us here shortly when we get this technical issue sorted out. Live from his local grocery store, we have Dacidradia.
Hi.
I'm not joking about that either.
Oh, Starfire.
Starfire! Hey, we got Starfire back.
Yay!
And
Hi.
I am Javert. Yes. We are all members of an online forum called Generation Z. For those of you who do not know what Generation Z is, Generation Z, yeah, as I mentioned, is an online forum dedicated to all things nerd culture. Whether that be nerdy television shows, comic books, movies, video games, all of the above. We basically talk about anything and everything there on the forum. You can find us online at generationz.jcink.net. That's generationz.jcinc.net. And now we're going to start off today's podcast with an icebreaker question.
Yay!
And that icebreaker question is going to be, is there an actor or actress that will cause you to watch a movie just because they are in it? And if so, who?
There's like a list.
This is a tough one.
It is a rather tough question, but when I thought it was an appropriate question, given, that we're in nerd culture for.
I mean, can we disqualify the obvious ones?
Such as?
What's the obvious ones?
Like, Liam Neeson, Morgan Freeman, the ones who basically, excrete money.
Michael Caine.
So, the Batman series? Does that mean we have to eliminate Christian Bale too? Just because he is guilty by association?
No, not necessarily, I don't think.
I think we're having some difficulty on Susie's end. Your video keeps cutting in and out on my end, at least.
Well, we still got her, so I think it's Starfire. Please reply. Starfire? Starfire?
I think she's gone.
Well, Starfire will, again, probably be joining us shortly when we get technical difficulty sorted out. Until that point, Dacidradia, give me an answer. I know
Sure.
I'm putting you on the hot seat.
Okay, let me get on this empty aisle. Well, that is really tough. Oh, okay, I got one. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Ah. I mean, he is very popular right now. I've not actually seen too much of what he's in, actually.
Well, you will.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, I'll be seeing Doctor Strange, and I'm looking into watching his Sherlock series here shortly.
You need to watch Sherlock. It's amazing. And it's short.
Yeah, I saw that it only had like 9 episodes or something like that. So,
Yeah.
Takio, do you have an answer?
Do voice actors count?
Sure, why not?
Okay, if that's the case, then basically anything that Johnny Young Bush lends his voice to, I'll probably watch it.
Understandable. He's got a great voice.
Like him and Steve Blum. Oh my goodness, Steve Blum. His voice is amazing. And this is coming from my anime background.
See, if we're talking voice actors, for me, it'd be Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's good too.
Mark Hamill does a great job with his voice acting. So.
Okay, I think I'm back. But I didn't hear anything about the question, so I don't know what we're talking about.
All right, the question is, let me pull it up again. Is there an actor or actress that will cause you to watch a movie or show just because they are in it?
The first name that came to mind would probably be Emma Watson for me.
Makes sense.
Does make some sense. For me, it did not take hardly any thinking about to come up with my answer. I really don't follow that many actors or actresses, but the one that I watch pretty much no matter what he's in, as long as I won't watch for just a bit cameo for the most part, but for the most part, if I hear he's in something, I'll watch it. That's Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly, plays Castle. I love him. I love him, an actor. Dr. Horrible. He is Captain Hammer.
Okay,
Sweet.
so I've seen none of this stuff.
Well, you need to watch him because he is amazing. And you need to watch Firefly like yesterday.
No.
You need to watch Firefly.
I think me and Das don't watch Firefly for the same reason.
Because you'll know you'll like it and you'll hate that it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Now,
Yeah, but Nathan Fillion is, in my opinion, he's one of my favorite actors, and he really gives a heart to a characters that a lot of other actors don't do. Like, he is such a comedic actor at times too, that you forget that when he can be serious. Like, especially Castle's a really good example of this. There are certain episodes that are pretty much him just being the biggest, geeking out over certain things. Like, there's an episode where a crime is apparently committed by a zombie, and he's like, best case ever! Like, super excited. But then there are other episodes where he is literally very serious, like, oh yeah, this guy can act really serious well, too. Like, there was an episode where his daughter was taken, and basically he's like, you're like, this is the same guy that acts jokey and funny all the time, and it is, and he does a great job. So Nathan Fillion is the guy whose name immediately came to mind for me. And, I mean, he's the reason I started watching Castle. Granted, he plays the lead character in it, but I watched Firefly, I watched him in Dr. Horrible, and I loved him in both of those. And so I'm like, I in the show called Castle, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even realize at first it was a police procedural. But I checked it out, and I loved it mainly because of the energy that he gave to the role. Anyone else have anything to add, or are we moving on? I think Das is in grocery store jail.
Maybe he bought something he has to check out.
I don't hear any beeping.
Well, he got his microphone muted, so.
Oh, does
he? I muted my microphone so I could check out without you guys having to listen to all of it.
Beep.
Oh, that's right.
I could have sworn you were getting arrested because you're like, this guy is acting creepy in the grocery store and talking into his phone, and he's clearly not talking on the phone to one person. So check him out.
Talking to the voices in my head.
Are you wearing a tinfoil hat?
No, actually.
You should be. That way the voices can't get out.
I never thought of it that way.
All right, well, we're going to move on here. We are moving on to nerdy news. In this segment, we talk about exactly what I just said, nerdy news. So I know Tom has a couple of stories that he wanted to talk about here, starting off.
Indeed.
So, Takio, what do we got going on?
I got two short stories here. One of them I'm really excited for. Despite the fact that the market, well, it's not so much now, but it used to be really heavily saturated with FPSs, it's great to see that Ubisoft or Ubisoft, however you pronounce it, is they're finally going to release Rainbow Six Siege, which, as someone who was a fan of Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, it's got me really excited because it's an FPS, but it doesn't do FPS like other FPSs do FPS. Like, it actually requires strategy. And
Wait, first-person shooters can require strategy?
yeah. And the thing about Rainbow Six is that it's also got, at least since Vegas, it has a really good cover system, and you can't beat the game without your teammates. Like it's really unforgiving even on easy mode.
So it's the opposite of Call of Duty?
Yeah, it actually requires thought, and there's a co-op mode too, which is awesome. Rainbow Six has always had a co-op mode. And the release date is October 13th, which has me really excited. Because, like I said, I love the Rainbow Six series. It's one of the better FPSs out there.
And just to clarify for those who maybe are not as clear in games, that's why I said it full out. FPS stands for first-person shooter.
Yes.
Just in case you may be not the person who follows gaming news all the time.
There's a question mark floating from your head and floating away. Then that there you go. There's the
so that's why I tried to clarify it there. But yeah, FPS is probably, if you refer to that as a first-person shooter. And I mean, I've always liked that's a Tom Clancy one based on Tom Clancy's games, right?
Yep, it's Tom Clancy universe.
Yeah, because I've always liked those games. I played a few of them and I really enjoyed them. But I have not played any of them since the graphics have really been improved. I think the last one I played was on the PS2.
Ooh.
So I have not played anything since that generation. But then again, I was also the person who up until 4 years ago, was still playing the PS2 exclusively. Didn't have a newer system, and then I got a 360. But up to that point, I'd just been playing PS2 stuff. I think it was like 2012 when I finally upgraded up to Xbox 360.
What did you play? Was it Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, or Ghost Recon?
I think it was Ghost Recon.
Because it's one of those three.
I'm almost positive with Ghost Recon.
And I'm a Splinter Cell fan, so.
I mean, I've always enjoyed those games. I think I played all of them, but I think I played Ghost Recon the most. And I'm going to be curious to see how this one's pulled off because, like you were saying, the market has been saturated with FPSs. But if you can make a good one, then it's definitely worth looking into. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like comic book movies, where there are tons of comic book movies in the cinema right now, but you can still make a really good comic book movie. They're not all The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was basically the most generic comic book movie you could make.
Yeah. And I think the other upside to it too is that the last Rainbow Six game to come out was Vegas 2, and that was 7 years ago. So having that gap...
Yeah, so it's not like we are getting one of these Tom Clancy games every single year or anything like that.
Yeah. It's not like Call of Duty where it gets a little crazy sometimes.
Call of Duty is kind of... I get annoyed with them when they release... Basically, they release the same game with a few mods and new maps.
Yeah, three different developers, same publisher. Used to be 2 developers, now it's 3.
So, but yeah, that's exciting news. And I think you have something else you wanted to talk about too, right, Tom?
Yep, the other one, this is a really short one, especially for those of you who are followers on my YouTube channel. Life is Strange, Episode 3 is coming out next week. Yes! And Life is Strange, for those of you unfamiliar, is, it's an, what's the proper terminology for it?
I'm not even sure.
Interactive narrative game. It's very similar to like the visual novels you get from Japan, but it's in the same vein as The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us. And it's developed by Don't Nod, which is a French indie studio, and published by Square. And I've already played through the first 2 episodes on my YouTube channel, and it's so good. Distinctly American, but it's really good.
Yeah, like the beginning of it was good enough for me to stop watching his playthrough and buy it myself.
Yeah, and like you can get what it is. You can get the full pass, which gets you access to, I think there's 5 episodes. You get all 5 episodes as they come out for one price.
Yeah.
Or you can buy them individually as they come out, which is gonna cost you a few more dollars, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's so good because like I remember a lot of the people in the UK when they play it, it's like it seems a little heavy-handed. It seems a little unrealistic. I'm like, you've never been in high school in the U.S. Like, high school in the U.S. can be as bad or even worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's an amazing, it's a great story. And that's the key to it, is that it's an interactive story basically that you play through. The main character has the ability to control time, and her best friend is like a punk rocker chick with blue hair and is hella cute.
So wait, you've been in American high schools where people can control time? Where is this at?
This would be the Xavier High School.
The Xavier High School for the Gifted?
Yeah, the Xavier High School for the Gifted.
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying there. But the games itself, outside of the powers, I'm guessing, it's very good representation of high school life in America.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the whole there's like the whole like clique hierarchy and stuff like that. And it does. I mean, there's a few things that are a little like, not, that probably wouldn't happen. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, I can relate to it. So, Life is Strange episode 3. For those of you who are on my YouTube channel, you can go and watch it when it comes out. I'll probably get the episodes up as soon as I can humanly possibly can, without killing myself.
All right, so we have a couple more nerdy news stories. The first one of which I think is a really interesting idea that Disney is mulling over right now. Disney is apparently mulling over 2 different television channels at the moment, one of which is a Marvel-based television channel. The other one is a Star Wars-based television channel. Now, the Marvel one, I think, is a fantastic idea. I think that Disney, I mean, if they created a Marvel-based one, they could have not only the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which already has enough elements to create a full channel, but you could also incorporate the 90s cartoons of the X-Men, Spider-Man, all sorts of different, like the Iron Man cartoon, X-Men Evolution, like the new Spider-Man. There are all sorts of different options that the Marvel Universe television network could go with, and I feel like there's what they can get rights to.
Yeah, what they get the rights to it, and then what Marvel's willing to put out there, because Marvel is very, like, they're being pretty picky right now about the cinematic universe, and kind of pushing a lot of other stuff, under the rug. Which I mean, they don't want you to focus on their current stuff.
Well, I mean, and it also depends on what they own, because like they own the rights to distribute all the cinematic universe stuff. If they were to create a Marvel-based channel, they wouldn't have the rights to say Fox's Fantastic Four movies, or
Right.
I think they could probably spring a deal to air any of Sony's Spider-Man movies, since they've made the deal to have Spider-Man as far as in the cinematic universe now. They could probably get the Tobey Maguire movies, or they could get the Amazing Spider-Man movies, because they have a partnership now with Sony. But like the X-Men movies or the Fantastic Four movies, probably not, at least at this stage, until Fox decides to actually work with Marvel or vice versa. I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is in terms of those two networks getting together.
Yeah.
But I know that Fox and Marvel aren't exactly seeing eye to eye. But regardless, they still have so much content they could put out in the Marvel channel that I think would be really a great television channel. That,
oh yeah, it would be amazing.
I mean, and if they could get rights from like Netflix to air like Daredevil, I mean that would have to be late at night, because I've seen the series and it gets pretty dark at times. So that'd be something that you'd have to be like, okay, we're not going to air this when there might be kids watching, but maybe like after 9 or 10 when kids are in bed.
Right.
But like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have 2 full seasons now. Agent Carter, they have the first season, and it got a second season. It got renewed here recently.
Yeah. So yeah, there'd be plenty of content to flesh out the channel, especially like you said, if they brought back the stuff from the 90s.
Yeah, and even before that, you could even go back farther and get like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
That series just makes me laugh so hard. It's terrible, but it's awesome at the same time. But the Star Wars side of this is, I think, the more interesting side to me, at least. I mean, the Marvel one is a great idea. The Star Wars side is interesting to me because I'd be curious to see how they're going to pull that off. With Star Wars,
yeah,
I think we were establishing earlier there's maybe 60 hours worth of content from the Clone Wars television series as far as episode-wise. That's like 121 episodes. You'd break it into half-hour blocks because they'd have commercials, obviously. Then you've got Rebels, which had a 13-episode first season, and then the 6 movies. It's not like there's
2 hours apiece.
Yeah, they're each about 2 hours apiece. So it'd be. I mean, I'm like, it's a great idea in theory to have that Star Wars channel, but I think that one would have to wait a while until we got all, because like Star Wars is getting spin-off movies, it's getting Episode 7, it's getting a lot more content coming out here in the future. But right now there is a very limited amount of content that really couldn't produce its own channel at this stage. I mean, we might have 2 days worth of content. I think maybe 4, but if you have a 24-hour network devoted entirely to Star Wars, then 4 days worth of content is not going to be good.
Okay. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. The network blinked on me.
Oh.
Well, you're still here, so you have not gone anywhere. Unless you left the grocery store and we don't know about this.
Well, I'm currently sitting outside the grocery store. They have a bench.
Okay, so now you look even crazier.
Yeah. So you went from being the crazy guy talking to the voices inside the grocery store. Now you're the crazy guy who's talking to the voices on a bench outside the grocery store.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. That's exactly how I want to spend my Saturday night. Talking to voices on a bench outside my grocery store. All right, well, but like I was saying, I mean, if you're gonna have a 24-hour network, you've got to at least have, a lot of content that's not gonna be repeated every 4 days, the way a Star Wars network would be. But they're in talks in development right now, and we'd have to see how it turns out. And these are not official networks yet. I think that they're great ideas, but. And when I first read the idea, it sounded like it was one network, which I'm like, well, that'd be interesting. But then I read the whole article, and it was 2 networks, one for Star Wars, one for Marvel, and I'd be very curious to see how if they could pull that off.
See, I think there is a way for them to pull the Star Wars one off, and I'm not trying to like super prolong the discussion here, but if they were willing to accept the expanded universe, there's tons of material they could adapt. But
well, like I was saying earlier, I think you may have had a network link there. They are making a ton of spin-off movies where they're focusing on different characters. Like I heard there's a Boba Fett spin-off movie coming. There's going to be a few other ones. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the Boba Fett movie too. Not to jump into a completely different discussion here, but we learned in the prequels that Boba Fett's a clone of Jango Fett. So if they don't get the actor who played Jango Fett to play him, is that discrediting the prequels, or is that just giving Boba Fett a new background?
I don't know.
I'm curious to see how that would be pulled off, because I mean, we learned in Attack of the Clones that he's supposed to be a clone, and if he's not, then that's gonna be different. I guess maybe you could argue that because he was raised slowly as opposed to quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. And rumors are that Disney wants Michael Fassbender to play Boba Fett, and I'd be okay with that entirely. Because he's another actor who I'm not going to go out of my way to see him, but I'd like to see what he's in a lot of the time. Anyway, that was just an idea. And the last bit of nerdy news for the week. This is just plain fun nerdy news. Let me pull this back up really quickly here. But essentially, right now, when Robert Downey Jr. finally retires as Iron Man, I think China may have found a suitable replacement for Robert Downey Jr. And that is the Iron Panda. Iron Panda. I don't even know where to begin with this. Basically, China created a 9-meter high giant panda statue wearing an Iron Man suit. That basically was meant to show the relationship between technology advancing and environmental nature, I guess, but it's a 9-meter high panda wearing an Iron Man suit.
We just lost Des.
We did lose Des. He'll be back. After he explains to the cop why he's talking to the voices in his head on a bench. But basically, it's a 9-meter high panda wearing an Iron Man suit. And let me just share this with you all so you can see this, because it's a 9-meter high panda wearing an Iron Man suit.
And for those of you who are run on Imperial units, 9 meters translates to 30 feet.
Yes. And it's 7 meters wide, which would translate to about 24 feet approximately.
About, yeah.
I'm not great at that exact measurement. I'm not mathematically gifted. But basically, it's a 30 by 25, let's say, panda.
It's a big boy.
It's a giant panda. And Das just texted me. Basically, he said we can talk about the season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while he is repositioning himself in the network. So basically, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. concluded its second season here this last week, last Tuesday. I thought it was a very good ending to the second season. I thought the second season was very well done overall, but the finale was very good. And I know Susie said she had seen it as well. So
yeah, I almost freaked out when he lost his hand. I was like, what?
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yes, there are spoilers.
Yeah, if you're watching this, there's spoilers.
Yes,
we forgot to mention that.
Sorry.
I should have mentioned that off the top there, and we can't really go back and say spoilers before she said that. But yeah, I kind of knew that was gonna happen though when I saw Mac with the axe and I saw his hand start turning to stone. I'm like, well, he's either gonna die or they're gonna chop off his hand. And he's not gonna die because he's the main character and they already revived him once to star in the series. So he is losing a hand.
Yep.
But I just thought it was interesting that they've managed to turn Mac, who pretty much for the last 5 or 6 episodes I had not liked very much, into a very likable character in the final episode. Plus, I liked that they gave Fitz a reference to Breaking Bad.
What? Really?
Well, it's an off the cuff reference.
Oh, okay.
Fitz said, "It's science, biatch." There was a line that basically that's a reference to one of the characters in Breaking Bad that just made me laugh. I'm like, okay. But there were a lot of good lines in the finale, and also it's like, oh, so you're Gordon, yeah, and who are you? I'm the guy that kills Gordon. That was another good line. They gave the show itself is pretty funny at times, but that episode had a lot of laughs, a lot of drama. I actually thought it could arguably was better than Age of Ultron, which, I enjoyed Age of Ultron, but it was more satisfying, I'll say, than Age of Ultron. Ultron was good, but it left me wanting a little bit more, but I think this was a little more satisfying overall.
I think I was saying on the board that it's a show I feel like more people could watch, even if you don't like superheroes. It's like that interesting and good drama and a lot of action and stuff, so that's what I like about it.
It's more of a spy, or at least season 1 was more of a spy thing. This is more of an undercover, underground show in season 2, and I really liked it. I'm curious to see what direction they're going to take with season 3. And I hate cliffhanger endings, and so I did not like the very end. Mainly because I feel like a season. I feel like television series too often view seasons as different chapters of one book, and I've always felt like they should view the seasons as different books in a series of books. Each one should conclude with a satisfying ending, but room to take the story forward from there, as opposed to giving it an ending where it's like, okay, we're gonna leave you wanting more for 3 months,
Yeah.
because we're gonna end it with a cliffhanger.
If they end the whole show with a cliffhanger, like the series finale, if they do a cliffhanger then, I really hate it. Between seasons, like, it's okay for me. So.
Well, the reason I kind of hate it more than anything is because most of the time, even like with this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, you kind of knew it was going to get renewed, but it was not guaranteed to get renewed. So, on the off chance that ABC had decided to cancel the series, that would have been the last thing we ever saw of the series.
Yeah.
And it was a character getting eaten by goop. I don't even know how else to describe it. But it's like with like Revolution, which when it ended, you pretty much knew it was going to get canceled, but they still chose to end the season with a season finale with a cliffhanger, hoping that it was going to get renewed, despite the fact that they should have known it wasn't, because anyone who saw numbers knew it wasn't. And you should also maybe I think that you should be able to also shoot 2 different versions of a finale, one that does not have a cliffhanger and one that does. That way at least you have the other option to air one if you know that, hey, this is actually going to be our season finale, our series finale, not just a season finale.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another day. I don't know what's going on with DAS right now. I know we kind of got off topic there, but
just don't even get me started about cliffhangers right now. I just finished an anime called No Game No Life, and only the first season is out right now. And like it ended like halfway through like the series.
Basically, it feels like you're not even close to a conclusion, and it just ended.
Yeah, and so everybody's waiting for the second season to get adapted to an anime, which sucks because No Game No Life is absolutely ingenious.
DAS, are you back?
Yes.
Alrighty. You came at a good time because we just finished up our discussion on S.H.I.E.L.D. So
awesome.
So don't come back to this episode and listen to it if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah, and mistakes were made, and we forgot to announce that there were going to be spoilers when a spoiler came out.
Yep.
Sorry. So excited.
No, it happens. All right, well, on that note, then, we are going to conclude our Nerdy News segment. Now, the next segment that we are going to go to is Whose Z Is It Anyway? Take off of Whose Line Is It Anyway, obviously. And it's an improv-based game where basically we just come up with random one-liners and random jokes that we're going to come up based on suggestions. The actual game we're going to be playing is Scenes from a Javert. It started off as Scenes from a Fluffy, but Fluffy's not here.
No.
So, we're going to start off with what world leaders would do for a Klondike bar.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Hi, I'm President Barack Obama, and I will bomb the sovereign nation of Japan for a Klondike bar.
Hillary, we know that you're going to be one of the candidates for the next presidential election, but would you remarry Bill for a Klondike bar? And of course, Kim Jong-un would never want a Klondike bar.
Kim Jong-un would not want a Klondike bar.
I've got a leader and the accent picked out. I just can't think of a thing for him to do.
And I think the funny thing is, didn't the UK just have like leader elections recently? Actually, now I think about it, if anybody knew that, it would be me.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, you don't know?
Remember, I've been off the grid for a week and a half.
I'm trying to think of something for him to say, too. I've got a terrible one. I'm just trying to figure out how I could word it. So you're telling me that if I let the juice out of the oven, you'll give me a Klondike bar?
Okay, I can't top that one.
Oh man.
All right, moving on from that one.
Yeah, I can't top that one.
Bad times to say better late than never.
Okay, let's not go not safe for work. Let's narrow all those out now. Finally! Oh, wait, what was that?
Go ahead, Takio.
Finally, Goku has finally beaten his enemy. Better late than never. Because we all know about Dragon Ball Z and how they like to stretch things out.
Mm-hmm. I regret to inform you, sir, but your mother just passed away. Better late than never. That's a bad one.
Wait, you didn't know Mom died? That was 3 years ago. Better late than never. To play off that one.
God, I just can't figure out how to word it.
Mother. Ted's parents won't tell him anything.
Did you hear that the world's coming to an end?
Oh, the irony.
Half-Life 3, confirmed!
Thanks a lot, Gabe. Alas, poor Yorick. Better late than never.
Alright, I got a really good one for us. I think you guys are... I gotta figure out how it was worded, though. Give me 1 second here.
Is it one of those ones that has like really terrible grammar?
No, it's just... things you can say about a role-playing game character, but not your significant other.
Come on, stand up! Stand up!
Make a will save.
If I roll a 6 with my dice, then you have to have sex with the troll.
That sounds like something out of Shadowrun. Okay, I gotta figure out how to word this one to where it sounds great.
Well, while you're going, she can take so much damage.
Oh, here we go. She uses grapple. It's super effective.
Nice. Should be better at this.
Yes, you should, as the guy who feeds me info on Final Fantasy VI.
God.
We need Fluffy here for this one.
Yeah,
He plays
we
probably
do.
more role-playing games than any of us.
No, I play a ton of role-playing games. It just, my brain doesn't work right now.
Well, I play none, so I got nothing.
It depends on the... I mean, I guess technically all sorts of different role-playing games. I mean, like Takio was going with Pokemon's a role-playing game, technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Final
And the
Fantasy,
easiest to
Pokemon.
quote from.
All right. Do you got any more?
Suddenly, a wild wildebeest appears.
Oh.
I was trying to come up with another D&D one. I got nothing.
Is that a Doug trio?
Is that a Doug trio or a medical condition?
I don't know if this one's a good one or not, but we'll try it. Things we do as humans that confuse our pets.
What are you doing with that pillow? No, I don't want to see that, human.
Dude, I get it. That room is yours. Quit marking it all the time.
Nice.
Why must you continually mock me?
He keeps yelling at people that aren't there.
Me?
No, the pet's saying that Das keeps yelling at people who aren't there because he's yelling at himself. I hate that I have to explain it.
I was more talking about like yelling at TV for video games or sports or whatever, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're yelling with nobody else in the room. I get.
Yeah.
How can you use such a beast? A beast that you call vacuum. Surely you must be struck with fear as I am.
I keep bringing him the stick, but he keeps throwing it away.
He does that with the balls, too.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Why does the human lay there for 8 hours doing nothing? It's weird. Yes, I'm pulling quotes from Dear Kitten videos. Sue me.
I was gonna pull a Dr. Dolittle quote. Didn't think it would work very well.
Do you have any more, Javert? He's searching. The gears are grinding.
I think, well, and considering where Das was just at, unusual items on a grocery shopping list.
Unusual items on a grocery shopping list. Okay. By the way, no longer in front of the grocery store.
Yeah, we figured that.
When you said you were moving locations, we figured out that you were going somewhere else. But I just said where you just were.
Yeah. Now I'm in front of a bookstore.
All right. All right. So we got sleeping pills, we got dog food, and we got condoms. All right.
What a combination that is.
Okay, so we're doing the 3 items to freak the cashier out thing.
No, I was just kind of. I mean, that one is true, but just unusual items on a grocery shopping list or items to freak out a cashier in a grocery store.
Ma'am, where'd you get the jet skis?
Excuse me, but do you keep your anti-aircraft guns in the back?
No, sir. We do not carry the MacGuffin, so please stop asking.
Excuse me, what aisle are your super soldier serum on? Alrighty. Let's see. I've got Justin Bieber DVD,
What?
hand lotion, and some tissues. Oh, I don't worry. It's not for me. My daughter has a cold.
Mm-hmm. No Jeff Bear's secret.
These are all CDs. Where's the digital music?
Where did you find this VHS tape?
Alright, let's try to get one more here going. Well, for Tom, because I feel like he could do well with this.
Oh, no.
If computer error messages had a sense of humor.
Bing! You're screwed.
Ding, mouse not detected. Click OK to continue.
Oh.
Keyboard not detected. Press F1 to continue. Which is an actual real thing, by the way.
You have 30 seconds to save your hard drive. Good luck.
Backups cannot save you now.
Yes, with your 30 seconds to save your hard drive, was that a reference to Power Rangers Zeo intentionally or unintentionally?
Unintentionally.
Because there was definitely an episode where that actually happened in Power Rangers Zeo, and that just...
I completely forgot about that.
That was the nicest computer virus ever. Guess which one of these windows you have to X's you have to click to close the window. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one either.
Click, click. Wait, is my computer smoking? Ding! Dear computer user, it appears that I am on fire. Please dial 911 and evacuate immediately. Or else, forever hold your peace. Thank you, and have a nice day.
I had one. Hang it.
How dare you click me there? Yeah, you're right. This is just like it's just rolling with me now. Bloop. Dear user, it appears that you are much too stupid to use this computer. Please return it into its box and return it to the store you bought it from. If you are a commercial user, please see your IT professional so that they may help you lose your job.
Surprise!
Boop. I appear to not be working. Have you tried turning me off and turning me back on?
You have exceeded your maximum quota for cat videos for the day.
Is your name Troy? Because I've got a horse for you.
Here's one. Exterminate.
Run!
Error number 7562. I have no idea what this error code means. Please complain to the programmers who programmed me.
Unknown error. Haha, you bought Windows, sucks for you.
You know that thing about Macs being unhackable? It's not true.
I don't know how to word this one, but I don't really know quite how to word it, but I'm going to just say out what I'm trying to say. They need to have the blue screen of death pop up and say, computer will self-destruct in 99, 98, 97, but then stop at 1. Just have it stop at 1. Like you get to the 99% loading screen on some computers and stops. This time it counts down from 99 and stops at 1.
Oh, jeez.
Or have it skip a number. Sex, what happened to Sun? Just kidding.
Progress bar, 1%. Yes! Back to 0. Haha! Fooled you.
Negative 1%.
What?
What was that from?
Isn't that from Fairly Odd Parents?
It is.
Okay.
I'm like... Alright, well, I think that's enough improv for today's episode. I think we're doing alright. How are we looking at our time, by the way, Takio?
We are at 50 minutes.
We're at 50?
Yep, so I think it's a good time to end it.
Last time we had a pretty long episode, so we'll call it an episode here. Once again, we are members of Generation Z. As you can tell from the bottom third of our screen, I am one of the moderators.
And I'm the other mod.
Yep.
One of a few awesome girls.
Yes.
Yes, so you should join Generation Z because, well, Takio and I are basically kind of running the place right now while the admins are in and out all the time, but it's a great place to be. Generation Z, you can find us online at generationz.jcink.net. Once again, that's generationz.jcink.net. This has been the Zcast for this week, and hopefully we get back to weekly episodes, though I don't want to guarantee anything. And Takio continues to pet his stuffed thing.
Nianchi?
Yes, that. I was going to say hello, Katie, but you yelled at me last time I said that, so...
If only you saw the Nemuneko that I got my brother from last con. It's great.
Alright, well, I am Javert, and along with me today this week was Takio.
Bye.
Starfire.
See ya.
Dacidradia live from his grocery store, and then bookstore, and then a bench, everywhere in North Carolina.
Basically. Goodbye.
Alright. And once again, please remember that you don't need to say tuna fish, because you wouldn't say salmon fish or burger cow.